Hello everyone and welcome back to another Space Marine 2 video. Now the update is coming out very soon. It should be next week that we get this update. I'm very excited. There's a lot of stuff happening in terms of content, so I'm looking forward to working on a lot of it. Space Marine 2, I do want to do some more content for Space Marine 2. It's just looking at builds and stuff. It's just been grinding stratagems and stuff recently, so there hasn't been much to put out. I did want to do a video with all of the relic weapons. However, after doing a video, I don't think some of them are worth making a whole video on. So instead, I'm going to do an all-encompassing video here, and we're just going to kind of cover every single relic weapon and talk about them. So we'll just start over here with tactical, because we can talk about 4 of the 6 of them just from tactical alone. So we'll talk about this one here, the Combi Melta first. I actually really like the Combi Melta. I think it's a very fun weapon to use. It offers a mid-range to close-range playstyle, so if you like to be aggressive and up close on the enemies, I think the Combi Melta is actually really, really good for it. Now, I will say that it is kind of annoying that to use the Melta part, you do have to switch to it, but it's a quick flick, depending on how you play, so it's not too bad. But we'll just kind of go over a build as well for it that you can go into, since you'd want to build into this really quickly. So for me, we don't want to bring anything that's just normal damage and flat out damage, because the Melta already does that. What we want is to buff the bolter aspect itself, because the Melta will be killing already. And how it plays with tactical itself, you'd bring the bonus damage but minus secondary damage, unless you just want extra penetration. So if you're building into that, just in the headshot damage, like I would like to build this weapon because I think it makes it better when you're mid-range and you can't really miss headshots. You could take this bottom route here. I don't think it's necessary at all. But you top up here, we do headshots, more headshots when we're at low health, reload faster, lower that spread so we're more accurate. If we use an ability, it reloads instantly. This is good just in general. As tac, killing Majoris with a headshot or higher gives us an armor segment. Increased damage to Terminus. This is nice if we're using the Melta on them or if we're just mag dumping. Up here then we have recoils reduced again, so we can just keep shooting. Then here, if our health is below 30%, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores health by 10%. Again, this is really important with the multi-Melta to have, as opposed to killing 7 enemies gives us more damage, because this gives you free sustain, since the Melta aspect itself is going to kill Minoris pretty quickly and pretty easily, meaning that you can constantly proc this until you don't have under 30% health anymore, as long as you are hitting all of the kills as intended. Then we'll go over more to headshot to deal more damage. I go down here to give us more mag size, just for the actual bolter itself. And then each shot penetrates an additional target, so if we shoot into a horde for some reason, that helps. Now, the one thing you don't want here is tactical precision. You do not want this on your Combi Melta build, because non-headshot damage decreases by 10%. If this affects the Melta itself, then you are going to lose damage on that. And you're trying to optimize how much Melta damage you do, and as well as how much damage your bolter does. So you want a fine line of extra headshot damage, but you don't want to take this. Now, you could drop the Great Might and go into, without aiming, you can decrease your spread. You could also do while reloading, you can't get staggered. It's really your call for that. I just picked extra Terminus damage though, so if you scan an enemy, you can headshot them or hit them with the Melta. You're going to get a little bit more bang for your buck, per se, for it. So that's covering the multi-Melta. Now for the bolt pistol itself, again, I actually do think the bolt pistol, the heroic one, I think I called the Combi Melta relic weapon, but it's a heroic weapon. But the heroic bolt pistol I think is good, but I don't think it's good on classes that don't have animal regeneration or a primary rifle. So for instance, I don't think it's good on assault. I don't think it's good on bulwark, and I wouldn't really bring it for Vanguard, as you're more classified into melee and then your primary. But you could bring it to your Vanguard, but assault and bulwark I would definitely recommend not bringing it, as you want as much ammo as possible when you're shooting with those classes, when you do have to shoot, as opposed to just bringing a weapon that has triple burst. But covering the bolt pistol itself, how I built it is, again, headshots, it's a triple burst. The accuracy is very good. It doesn't have like any recoil at all. So what that means is that you can just keep mag dumping into the head and get really good efficient damage out of it. really good again for tactical and like sniper or heavy. So here, gun strike, instantly reload, maximum ammo, which is good, more headshot damage, killing majority stuff with a melee, you get more headshot damage, get more mag size, and then just get more damage. And then here you got the 3-round burst. Now you could go down into gun strike, reduces recoil, or go for extra mag size, but I think the heroic bolt pistol, built into just as much damage as you can get with a little bit of ammo, is going to do you wonders. Now covering the 2 melee heroics real quick before we go into the power sword and the plasma. The heroic chainsword. I do not like this weapon. I do not recommend it. If you want to use it, by all means give it a try. My biggest complaint with it is that right there you see its speed. So when we go from a fencing or even a balance, the normal balance from relic tier, so you have a 9 or 7 in speed, going to the double-edged relic, you immediately drop down to a 4. Now for reference, your block is a 3, so you are barely faster than a block. Sure, your damage is higher than everything else, but the only perk you're getting is that you can perform an additional heavy attack after a quick punch. Front kick is replaced with a quick punch, and then all heavy attacks deal 15% more. Here's the trade-off, though. Yes, that's all fine and dandy, and you would see, oh, well, I deal 15% more, and if you've seen my builds in the past, you know I love building into the stomp here, which, hey, whoa, that's exactly what I would want then, right? You would think, oh, the stomp is perfect. That's what I want to build into. The problem being, though, is that, again, you have to look at the speed. That affects your combos, if you didn't know that. So what happens is when your speed drops from a 9 to a 4, your comboing speed is so slow that most enemies can just kind of do whatever they want while you're trying to set up yourself for a stomp. And that makes it very hard to initiate this combo very quickly. Now, I've already tested this. I could show footage, but showing a quick little blurb of it, rather than just me telling you, I think it's just better for me to tell you than to show you. Just in this sense, because it's so unnecessary to just show you, be like, look, see, it takes an extra 1-2 seconds to set up your stomp, or 3 seconds to do a double stomp. Yeah, your damage is high with the bonus 15% more, but you're swinging so much slower that you can get to the stomp faster with the fencing version or even the balanced version. And with that being the case, it means that you're actually going to end up doing more damage if you can combo and initiate your attacks faster. It also lets you combo in between parries a lot better too. So I do not recommend this. If you are to build it, it's essentially the build here, other than you could get rid of extra Majoris damage maybe and go into full throttle. Or unless you want to get rid of trampling strat and just go into full throttle and get rid of the extra stomp. And then leave the extra Majoris damage. And then maybe you go into, instead of the light combo here, you go into Minoris damage and then extra extremis. I just can't recommend this weapon, though. I don't think the relic chainsword is worth being used. And then this transitions into the relic, the heroic chainsword and the heroic combat knife. Heroic combat knife, good. It's fast. It's the same speed as balanced. You get 1 extra damage. Your cleaving is pretty crap, though, on it. But the trade-off for this one here is that you're going to get 120% more damage on your next attack, and it can be stacked 3 times. It did get buffed. It used to be on your next light, and now it's on any attack. So, theoretically speaking, for this, that means that we could use, per se, a Shadow Stab build, and that would be a shit ton of damage. However, I will then follow up and say that, again, I don't think this is a good weapon. The classes that really would like it probably are going to be your Sniper and maybe Vanguard, maybe Tactical. I know those are the only classes that can use the knife, but I think Vanguard and Sniper are going to be the ones that get the most out of it, maybe, but even then I think it's going to be Sniper that really gets the value out of this. And once again, I would also argue that that's not even that great, because of the fact that you are essentially sitting there having to perfect dodge constantly. Perfect dodge, perfect dodge, perfect dodge, perfect dodge. And you are doing this 3 times to then make your Shadow Stab really strong, and then you have to land your Shadow Stab and make sure you actually hit the enemy. But all of that time that you're doing this setup and you're doing this, I'm going to dodge instead of parry, I'm going to dodge instead of parry, I'm going to dodge instead of parry. What ends up happening is that you could have just parried and gun strike, parry, gun strike, parry, gun strike, parry, set up, do a few melee hits, gun strike, parry, a few melee hits, gun strike. The amount of time you waste and the amount of damage you lose trying to set up this pseudo dodge 3 times to do a shadow stab or dodge once to boost my shadow stab, everything you're doing for that setup, you could have just done with a few hits and a gun strike anyways. So unless you're trying to build this weird niche, like I want to one-shot stuff, and again, like I said, sniper's probably the best for it, it's just not that good. And if you are building into it though, what I would say is that you want to go into this bottom row here, which boosts your heavy attacks. You definitely want to go for Shadow Stab as well. And then you'll probably want to build into Extremis or Terminus if you want it to be like a super boss killer or anything like that. Personally, I just can't recommend the Relic Dagger. I just think the idea of trying to gimmick set yourself up by dodging a bunch instead of just parrying, you set yourself up to get hit by other things, and by procrastinating and prolonging the interaction, there's more chances of you taking hits from other things that could also hurt you. So it's just something I cannot recommend. Now, another big one here is the Heroic Xenophase Blade for the Power Sword. And once again, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say I do not recommend this weapon at all. Again, the problem being here is you see the speed is 3+ and the block is 3+. This thing is very, very slow. The trade-off is you do 20% more damage and it's wider for your power rake attacks. And as you see here, I already have a built-into heavy attack chain where I then also cover extra damage against every single type of enemy because it's just so free. However, even with this setup here like this, going into the power rake, you can one-trick kill warriors, Majoris Enemy from Tyranids. You can one-trick them with a double power rake attack. If you swing at them and then go into power rake, you can put them into it, or double swing into power rake, whatever it is, for this combo. Again, the problem is how slow you're getting to that. By the time you finish this, you've seen a few builds of mine now where I've showed where it's like you can trade into things, like with the Thammer Bulwark build where you're trading into them. I showed you that if you have extra armor, you can trade into it. The difference with this is that your hammer is slamming down a massive AoE around you, where this is a directional goes in front. A lot of enemies, when you interact with them, they will jump to the side. They will not jump backwards. So your power rake will just miss, or it won't do a lot. Yeah, you can clear hordes out and stuff, but if you're going for this heavy build, I've already shown it on my channel personally, I know for a fact, and you can just go into a fencing style power fist attack where your power fist wave just goes and kills everything instantly. And this is using a fencing weapon, so you have a 9+ weapon that can melee and combo and do all that stuff way faster than this power sword is going to. If the speed was brought up from like a 3+, maybe to like a 5 even, or like a 6, somewhere like in between, then the trade-off is that you have a balance instead of fencing, but then you have this insane power rake ability, but you don't. You're just better off, instead of going for trades constantly on every single warrior, for this specifically, because it's not AoE and it doesn't have a massive range, you're better off just going with like a fencing style or a balance style that has a bunch of damage, but you don't lose that speed as much for it. So, once again, unfortunately, I cannot recommend the Xenophase Blade. Real quick, I will show what I go into, though, if you were to do it. Extra damage, increase your melee if you have armor remaining, which if you're doing a trade build football work, this is the best thing to use it on. It's really good. More melee damage. When doing a light combo, you take less damage. You'll want that because of specifically going into your power rake here. It's really good to set you up to kind of mitigate that. And then once you hit this, you can just hit every single one of these trees to just boost your damage exponentially, because nothing else you're going to hit is really going to matter. So instead, just going for these here lets you pump out a lot more damage on bosses and such. Now finally, the heavy plasma incinerator. This one is a mixed bag for me. I think it's good. I don't think it's the end-all be-all for the plasma incinerator. I'm interested to see another heroic version of this weapon to see what they do. It is nice. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me, sorry. I think this is good, but this is very ammo hungry, and if you don't play correctly and play smart with this, you are going to run out of ammo, even on Absolute, even on the hard stratagems, the 2 hardest difficulties in the game, even on Siege. Siege, you get a lot of Extremis, but you need to execute them with melee if you're running the Prestige perk right here, where melee kills of Extremis give you ammo by 1 mag. You need to have this if you're running the heroic plasma. Just no question about it. Absolutely no question. It's good. I still prefer the charged attack, and I don't like where the new charged attack is with the rebalance of the weapon perks, so I think I will stick personally myself to the heroic version. But you have to build it completely different, and you do have some dead slots here, and the problem being with that is that, so these dead slots you have will be charge based if it talks about how you're going to have weapons charged. So the heavy velocity here, that's a wasted perk, and charge shots from this weapon use 2 less energy, also a wasted perk. I think in the future they need to address heroic weapons and make sure that they build around either the perks or they make it so that these perks get value or do something different with that weapon or unique. Otherwise, most of the other heroic weapons we covered, they don't have dead slots. This weapon specifically has 2 dead slots, and I kind of think that's unacceptable if you're going to make a weapon and then change the entire gimmick of it, but then not have it so that there's a tree that you can kind of go through. It's also why I have a problem with the Plasma Incinerator as it stands already, because they have a split tree again, kind of, for it. But if you are going for the build, this is 100% the way you want to go, is top row first and then immediately just stick to the bottom row and go all the way across. It's just to give you as much ammo as possible. I think you end up with like 66. But this weapon's a mixed bag. Try it out for yourself, see how you like it, see if you prefer this over the heavy one or what your preference is for it. But otherwise, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one, probably after the update comes out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!